So today, the Supreme Court upheld the TikTok ban, but let us mention Biden's before he leaves office, which will be Monday,
Mhm.
right? He said that he's not going to enforce this law, that he's going to leave it all on the Trump administration. And if they will, they will. If they won't, they won't. Trump has said in the past that he will not get rid of TikTok. But Trump also, before he had this change of heart, wanted TikTok gone. So who knows what's going to happen? Personally, for me, I have been enjoying, as much as I love TikTok, and I'm not gonna lie to you, on Monday, if I wake up and TikTok is actually banned, I'm gonna crash out, but that's another story for another day. I have been loving seeing the funerals, the TikTok funeral. People are bringing back the old sounds that we heard. Like, my algorithm has been algorithming. Okay.
Yeah.
And now everybody is going to this other app called Red Note, and it's basically like it's like a Chinese Instagram type of vibe kind of thing. At first though, y'all is acting out on there. Okay. Y'all is acting out. One dude already got banned because somebody called him a monkey. So he called another dude a chopstick. Like,
Oh my god. This is why you can't take us anywhere. This is why people hate Americans.
yo, but it's so funny because the way like people are actually trying to learn Mandarin and stuff now. And like just seeing all these different like TikTok trends of people going on to Red Note. And it kind of just made me think, right? Seeing how people, now that, this TikTok ban has been upheld, if it does go into effect, seeing how people have gravitated to Red Note, it shows me that like what the government is so concerned about for us is not the concern of everybody else. So everybody's going to this Chinese app where the info that the government doesn't want TikTok to have, they're going to Red Note. So it's like that same info is just going to go to a different app. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing of like when you tell kids not to do something, they always find a way to do it. It's just like, I do want to mention my whole thing with this is either shut down the app or shut up about it. Like, I feel like we've been talking about a TikTok ban for what feels like 90 years. I have this personality trait where I hate when people repeat the same thing over and over and over again. If you tell me, Shayla, on Friday we're shutting down Dollar Tree, I expect Dollar Tree to be shut down on Friday. This coming back and forth and back and forth and this and that. I also want to mention the fact that Congress passed this ban, right?
Mm-hmm.
Biden signed the legislation. And now all of a sudden on his way out, he's like, "Oh, well, I'm not enforcing it. It's up to the next administration." It's like, well, no. If you really felt like, if you didn't feel like the app had to be banned, then why in the world would you sign the legislation to do so? Because now it has turned into a political thing, right? Donald Trump had once upon a time said he wanted to ban TikTok, but now he's BFFs with the TikTok CEO and other tech billionaires, which we will discuss. And now all of a sudden he's like, "Oh no, we're not going to ban the app." And I do want to mention Trump has responded to the Supreme Court's decision, and he said the Supreme Court decision was expected and everyone must respect it. My decision on TikTok will be made in the not too distant future, but I must have time to review the situation. Stay tuned. And this is what the TikTok CEO had to say. He posted this video not too long ago. Let's take a listen.
Hi everyone, it's Show here. As you know, we have been fighting to protect the constitutional right to free speech for the more than 170 million Americans who use our platform every day to connect, create, discover, and achieve their dreams. On behalf of everyone at TikTok and all our users across the country, I want to thank President Trump for his commitment to work with us to find a solution that keeps TikTok available in the United States. This is a strong stand for the First Amendment and against arbitrary censorship. As we've said, TikTok is a place where people can create communities, discover new interests, and express themselves, including over 7 million American businesses who earn a living and gain new customers using our platform. We are grateful and pleased to have the support of a president who truly understands our platform, one who has used TikTok to express his own thoughts and perspectives, connecting with the world and generating more than 60 billion views of his content in the process. To all American users, thank you for making our TikTok community such a rich and vibrant space, for surprising and delighting us every day. Rest assured, we will do everything in our power to ensure our platform thrives as your online home for limitless creativity and discovery, as well as a source of inspiration and joy for years to come. Thank you. More to come.
Oh, he deriding hard. He said, Trump.
I'm so glad we finally have this and that. I'm like, well, this is my thing. And I think we had this as like a separate topic, but I think it's correlated to this issue. The way that these tech billionaires are deriding, like Rebecca's saying, Trump is actually scary. Like, it makes me, at some point, like, do you realize how much power you have? I want to show up this graphic of the 6 billionaires that will be joining Donald Trump's swearing on Monday, right? Because on Monday, that's it. Trump is our president. Well, you know how some people are like, that's not my president. But I live in reality, and the reality is that he is going to be the president of the United States of America. But let me show you. This is the graphic. So you have, this is the tech bros attending Trump's swearing ceremony. You have Elon Musk, who is the CEO of Tesla and SpaceX. You have Jeff Bezos, the CEO of Amazon. You have Mark Zuckerberg, the CEO of Meta, which includes Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp. You also have under here, who we just discussed, the TikTok CEO, Google CEO, OpenAI CEO. All of these men will be front and center for the swearing of Donald Trump on Monday. And I am just like, it's like whatever he wants, they're going to do. And I think it is kind of scary when we kind of discussed this with the whole Bad Bunny thing. When people don't realize the power that they have and use it for good. Again, I guess we all have different outlooks of what is good and what is bad. And for them, maybe they believe everything that Trump is doing is the best way, but it's just very hard for me to always say, you know, like, hey, Trump is doing this. Trump did this. He's a bad person. But then you have all these billionaires literally just getting in line and doing whatever he wants. It's actually kind of scary in a sense, because if this is these people that have power, what can we do? Like, I'm just little O'Shea, honey. You can't fight. Like, I don't know. Just what I'm saying, I don't even know.
So I have a few things I want to talk about. So I want to touch on the first point where you talked about how, like, basically, why would Biden sign this legislation? And then the moment he's about to leave, it's like, oh, well, I'm gonna just let the next administration do it. I think, from like my way of thinking, is that like he basically wants to end this term on like a good note. Like, you just got this ceasefire that happened in Gaza between Israel and Palestine. So like you like, I guess he's trying to end it on a good note, I guess. Like,
There is no good note.
I get that. But it's just like, finish what you started. Eating something to me, and then the moment the time comes, you talk about, well, I don't know, I'm gonna just let the next person deal with it, even though I introduced it, even though I put this out there, like this, that, and the third, right? And I just think it's all a waste of time, because if ultimately this ban and this conversation about the ban basically happened for no reason, it's like, why would you eat? Because like, I'm not an influencer, but I know there are a lot of people on TikTok who are influencers, and that is their main source of income. Do I think that social media should always be your only source of income? No. But it's like, now you're affecting a livelihood of a whole group of people who made like a platform for themselves, right? And if you have a sustainable platform, obviously you can transcend to different apps and stuff like that, and your fan base will follow. But if you only had that TikTok as your source of income, now you're just screwing over a whole group of people, right? And I also want to talk about, you mentioned all these tech people like basically donating to the inauguration, and then them all showing face and like basically in support of Trump. When Shayla and I talked about this yesterday, I said to her, I was like, all these people are deriding Trump for the simple fact, if someone has shown you time and time again nothing will happen to them, at one point you like, maybe I should side with them. Trump has, even though he got a mugshot, even though he's been indicted, even though literally nothing is stopping that man from doing anything. Right. And it's like, at one point, as much as I don't like the man, I can't sit there and lie and say, like, baby, he's using his privilege to the fullest extent. Like, he's using every ounce of that privilege.
And
And it's
it's so frustrating because you know how I am. I always try to see the good in people, but it's very hard for me to keep pressing and harping on the issue when even these politicians, like I think at some point Democrats need to understand that you cannot keep playing by the rules because clearly Donald Trump is not playing by the rules and he continues to get away with it. Like it's actually astonishing. And I 1,000% agree with you with this notion that, like, you know, they see, well, Trump did all these things during his 4 years in office and he got away with all of them. He ain't pay a fine of this. I mean, I guess, yes, in some legal battles, he did have to pay and whatever. But the fact that he was still able to run and is president now, say whatever you want. But one thing about Trump, he gonna do it. Whether he gotta break the rules or not, baby, he gonna do it. And
okay.
honest about it. We do. And then another point with the TikTok thing is like, you know how much time they spent or wasted in Congress debating this whole issue, bringing in witnesses and this, that, and the third to now do nothing with it. Like it's, I can't
I
even.
mean, it's like it kind of goes to the same point for me. Is like, I understand that these people are like, oh, like TikTok is like affecting the minds of people. It's taking our information, but it's like, the amount of people who are upset about that is like, you got to kind of look into that. And it's like, if you are so upset that TikTok is doing this, TikTok is taking this from us, like, find a way to use that if you're so concerned about it. Do you know what I mean?
Like to use it to your advantage. I just think I understand what you mean, but I think this whole notion of like they're stealing our information and it is a national security threat. I'm just like, well, if people, that's the same thing when you sign like
Terms and
terms and conditions when you get into app. Everybody know this now. We all know that they are stealing our information and that it might be a risk. And if people are still willingly accepting the terms and conditions, then so be it. I do want to mention before we wrap this up that according to Politico, TikTok is spending $50,000 on an inauguration party honoring influencers who helped Donald Trump spread his campaign messages. So it's like these billionaires, maybe not only are they donating to the campaign, they are like, we're throwing a party in your honor. Thank God that you're in office now. So just buckle up because these next 4 years, it's like not only is Trump the president, it feels like he has the ears of all of these very important things. Like the fact that the Open AI CEO is going to be present. We've discussed how scary AI is and all of these things. Like you have Google CEO, TikTok CEO. Like, I don't know.
And
It's
I
crazy.
just, so like, I just want to, I guess, add on to the fact that, like, yes, all these like billionaires and everybody is like basically coming to like, Trump, we're in support of you. Don't you see? Like, da da da. It's because I feel like, as as much as Trump gets away with things, he's also very impulsive. And if he sees that you are against him in any type of way, he's not going to give you the benefits. He's not going to give you the privileges that he's going to give to somebody else. I mean, look at Elon Musk. Elon Musk basically is the vice president.
Girl, the first time I'm gonna see JD Vance after he won is now in the inauguration. I ain't seen that man. I don't know where honestly, Elon Musk should be on inside for the swearing ceremony.
Yeah.
Like the whole Bible. He a part of the team.
And
Uh,
it's like, Trump is the type of person, you gotta feed his ego. You gotta stroke his ego. You gotta basically build him up and build him up and build him up. And the more you build him up, the higher you look in his eyes. So it's like, TikTok doesn't want to go away. So what are they gonna do? Oh, we're gonna help support you. And not only are we gonna help support you, we're also gonna help the people who help support you as well. It's like, what's the best way to feed somebody who's a narcissist? What's the best way to feed somebody whose ego is all the way up here? How do you feed somebody
yeah,
who thinks they got the biggest cojones in the world? You stroke
it's
their ego.
yeah. I just hope that Democrats or just the opposition party leaders in Congress and everywhere understand that you cannot you know, I'm not saying we break the rules and act crazy, but at some point you need to figure out that the method that you've been using is not working, and the people not trying to hear none of that. So you need to switch gears, you know, boom, 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 hit reverse instead of drive, because something is not working.
And I also just want to
onto-
mention real quick, just last point. I do not like that the inauguration is going to happen on MLK Day. I really don't like that.
Well, Bernice King says that we should use that as some inspiration. Bernice King is like his daughter, I believe, and she actually says something that was very like
Profound.
motivational, of course, as you can expect, because she is who she is. But I'm just like, girl, I don't know.
Are you gonna find it? Are you gonna
No,
find
I have it. I have it here. I'm trying to find it. I took a screenshot of it. She said, change does not roll in on the wheels of inevitability, but comes through continuous struggle. And so we must straighten our backs and work for our freedom. A man can't ride you unless your back is bent.
Ooh, wait.
As we honor my parents' legacy, let us recommit to the ongoing struggle for freedom, justice, and equality. Together, we can build the beloved community where peace and dignity prevails.
Oh,
So
she
she is saying, like, you know, we got to keep going, but it is kind of like discouraging when you don't see any movement, any change, but we got to keep fighting, I guess.
My takeaway from that is she basically said you can't get fucked unless you allow somebody to fuck you.
There you go. You interpret it your own way.